Well, hi YouTubers, hi, I'm back with the 41 years of Mills and Boone again, and it's my first ever Mills and Boone, taking it chapter by chapter, two-parter, because I thought this one is getting way too long. Obviously, okay, I'm not like Alison Prenga, I'm not like cool like her, or one to go through each book individually, okay, and scrutinise it. I watched one the other week about Ready Player 2, and it was hilarious. I'm not the kind of person, okay? These people, okay, really are way better than I ever be. I had to sit here with my camera, talking to you fine people. Hi, everyone. So, obviously, this is the second part of The Italian Boss's Mistress of Revenge. God, what a title. By Trish Morey, okay? So, where we left off, where did we leave off? Okay? We left off with Dante, okay? Dante and Dante Caruso. It says his full name. No one tells Dante Caruso what to do. And Mackenzie, without the E, because that's plenty more feminine. Alright. Just bonding. They're like going out on boats and they're meeting people and they're like becoming a couple and it's weird. It's chapter 9 by the way. Okay. Right. Right. And it's like they're like talking about stuff and business and they're actually right. Right. It's a bit here, okay? This is with Stuart Quinn, alright? And the fact is, okay, that in this time, okay, well, the last couple of days, okay, of doing nothing, okay, but that. This bit here, okay, it takes Stuart Quinn, okay, who is going to business with Dante to build boats together, because this is a total rip-off of Pretty Woman. No, Pretty Woman actually has some style to it, okay? Pretty Woman's generally a good film. Alright, so, Head to Elizador is masterful in that, but I absolutely adore him. Right, Tara Mackenzie, what's your background? Give you interest in the subject, I'm guessing it's got to do with the property industry. Mackenzie managed a hotel in Adelaide. Dante interceded. I like the fact Decay managed, past tense. You know, oh yeah, I forget, you lost your job. She smiled, wondering why becoming Dante's mistress automatically made him her spokesman. That's right. She smiled innocently at him. Though right now I'm between jobs. Isn't that right, Dante? She turned to Christine before he had a chance to answer. And it was actually a wonderful hotel in Adelaide Hills called Ashton House. Maybe you might have heard of it. Right. And to start bragging again, because they've all been at Ashton House and absolutely love it. And Mackenzie allowed herself a take that smile. What the hell's a take that smile anyway? Is this a take that smile? Is that it? Tell me. Alright. Noticing Dante's expression tighten measurably behind his sunglasses. It's a very special place, she agreed, hoping Dante would eventually get the message. Far too special to suffer the fate Dante had planned. Right. Yes, film Ashton House. Ashton House. Right. And then, obviously, okay, because Stuart, who's a nice guy, Stuart Quinn, doesn't know that Mackenzie's just thinks she's Dante's girlfriend. Okay. Right. And says, oh, well, if you're looking for employment, hey, here you go. Get her. Pronounced Quinn. That explains it. Well, given you're in between jobs, right, yeah, in between something, let me know if you're looking for work in the industry, because I'm sure I've got some contacts who use your talents in Auckland. Thank you, I appreciate it. I don't think she had the time, Dante broke in, snapping his gaze away to focus on Stuart. Mackenzie's going to be busy helping me out in a few projects for the foreseeable future. Oh, she was. Okay, first news. First news to Mackenzie, by the way. First news to her, okay, she's going to be on these special projects, and we know what these special projects mean, okay, okay, right. Right. Okay, and then the fact is, okay, that Dante's such a prick. He seems to blame her for not knowing any information about her, which all you gotta do is ask, okay? You know? Anything, okay? Oh, Jodie, your favourite film's Back to the Future. Why is that? Actually, favourite film trilogy. That kind of thing, alright? Jodie, look, you've got a Pikachu and a Charmander like that. Do you like Pokemon? Oh, yes, I do. You know, that, right? You never told me you worked in the property industry. I don't recall you ever asking. Only then she turned from the view and looked at him, having to raise her chin because of her height and because he was standing so close. And what's this about me helping you out in a few projects? Dante gave a careless shrug of his shoulders, the open neck of his white shirt ripping with the motion and drawing near her attention to the eye-level triangle on olive skin. Yeah. Right. Right. And she found out that she broke her nose playing ice hockey. Okay, fine. No, so ice hockey, sorry, they're in Australia. Just hockey. Sorry. I like ice hockey. Right, here you go. And then they're standing together on the beach, not touching, but he was flirting with her, she realised, seducing her with barely a touch right here on the shore, in full view of anyone and everyone. Despite everything she knew about him, despite every reason she should play his game, she wasn't about to stop him. So what made her feel like this? What is wrong with this woman? After what he did, chapter 1 already discussed it. After what he did, the forceful, aggressive seduction, okay, right? She's falling for him. She's absolutely falling for him. And it's like they're dating. It's like they actually start courting like a couple, but was that a screwed up premise, okay? It'll be my mistress for a fortnight, and I stay at this poxy hotel. Right, right. And the fact is, okay, that Dante being the masterful alpha male, this is page 125, she starts to like him, like who he is, likes his forcefulness, likes his personality. He hasn't got one. Right, right. As I toured the site, checking out Quinn's distant facilities, I'd gone with Quinn to visit what felt like a dozen other boatyards, and Quinn was driving them back to the hotel. But education hadn't finished there. She had followed in Dante's wake today, marveling at the speed in which he picked up new concepts and terminology and ran with them, gaining new respect for the man whose fortune she assumed had been built solely by riding roughshod over anyone and everything. But this was a new Dante. Even now, as the talk in the car turned to specification of the boatyard, it was easy to see a new rapport had been established between the two men, as they enthusiastically exchanged ideas, both of them united in wanting more to propose or beyond concept stage into reality as quickly as possible. Pretty woman walking down the stairs. That's so pretty woman. Sit there bonding, kind of common ground. Oh God. But Mackenzie's seen a different side to him. Oh shucks, this is Dante. This is good Dante. There is no good Dante. Okay? Right. Right. And then, this is so goddamn brief. It took a second. It only gets a reference, okay, later on in the book, but it's so brief I even missed it. I had to go back and find it. Whilst they're in the lift together, the lift going up the floors, okay? Right, right. I said goodbye to Quinn at the hotel, and Dante took her arm. Their eyes met briefly, and she caught the glimmer of something simmering beneath the surface, hot and urgent, and finding an answering call in the tremor that moved her body onto high alert. Right. Right. He guided her purposely through the lobby towards the private lift that would take them to the penthouse suite. A man on a mission, a man and his mistress. It was a good day, Dante said, his voice as tight as a drum, breaking the silence as he fired it into the lift. It was. And then literally, in like a paragraph, they have sex. Like, literally, like, a great sex. Right. And then, as soon as I get back to the hotel, well, the suite, okay, um, Dante's bought more clothes for her, and then she's like, "Well, I don't want your clothes. A fashion house. Oh God, okay, right." And the fact is, okay, she's been recycling a tiny suitcase, okay, for like the past week, probably by now, and he's like, "No, you need some new clobber. Here's some new clothes, okay. Just don't what you like. Just send them back, okay." It solves all your problems. Just send up your size. Just choose what you want and send them back. Right. He kissed her on the cheek and made a move to go, as if already bored with the topic, satisfied. She would happily comply. Good little mistress that she was. But I don't want them, she announced, for it's like the prices downstairs are ridiculous. He turned back. Not expecting you to pay for it. Anything you keep will be charged to the room. She shook her head. Oh no, you're not buying me clothes. I thought I made that clear. He took a step closer and raised one eyebrow high. I can't do that. You made it more clearer than you'd actually be given jewelry. This isn't jewelry. Okay? Right. Right. And then she thought back, there could be worse things. Sorry. She felt they thought their love make. They call it love making, not making love, okay? In the lift slide away, leaving her shaking weak and all too well reminded that the encounter had nothing to do with who she was and about all about what she was. And she thought there could be And she'd thought there could be worse things than being Dante's mistress. Not being his mistress simultaneously made her his whore. I don't want the trappings or the clothes or anything. I don't want the trappings. I don't want the jewellery. Not that kind of mistress. Right. Because I won't be here unless you blackmail me into it. Right. And the fact is, he actually calls her out on it, okay? He calls her out on the, I suppose, right. His eyes turn cold and hard, his mouth curled into a little smile. Ah, the blackmail mistress, as opposed to the mercenary mistress. Is that how you see yourself? Is that a face mercilessly, as if seeking any sign of weakness if you're spoiled? Was the altruistic mistress you fancy yourself as? A selfless virgin, sacrifice herself in order to cross the old pile of bricks? Yes, I do believe it's the latter. Not that I call any virgins. Does it matter? Well, remember, in the Mills and Boone novel, yeah, it typically does. Okay, but... Right. Right, so they go back and forth on this, okay? The fact is, okay, that he wants to buy her stuff and she won't take it, okay? She won't be his gold digger. She won't be his whore. So, they come to a compromise. The fact is, okay, she'll start working for him. She'll start working for him as a business partner. She'll start giving him advice, okay, about where to go with his business. And that's their compromise, okay? That is a compromise, okay? Right. Right. I intend paying for them, it's about the clothes, out of the fee for your time and expertise while you assist me on this deal, and any others which I employ in your service. A fee will jointly negotiate. That's it. That's it. So that's settled. That's sorted. That is how she's going to accept all these pretty things, okay, by giving him business advice. Sorry, I've been talking for way too long. I can't edit properly. Well, I'm rubbish at this. So, right. There's so much wrong with these. God, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to myself? Okay, right, two-parter. Alright, so, a week later, it's a productive week. They're making business. It's like they're dating, okay? So, Mackenzie's out shopping because obviously now, okay, she's got her self-employment with Dante, okay? So, you know, give you business advice. Here's my credit card. We have great sex in the evening. And that's their relationship, okay? He'd been amazed at someone he selected as his deal or no deal mistress. He could be his business savvy. He was more amazed that his mistress chose on a whim after one insufficient night had proven so bedroom savvy. Oh, yes, okay, because Mackenzie, who, now she's got her, awakenings, there's no stopping her, okay, there's no stopping her. This is so wrong. What is wrong with Mackenzie? I am disgusted at the situation, but I find her actions so troubling too. It's kind of like she's accepted what's happened. She's embraced it because no one made her feel like that in her entire life. And even though it was done in such a deplorable manner, she enjoyed it. This is so horrible in the real world who it happens to, and who it does happen to. I'm very, very sorry, by the way. But the fact is, okay, she's starting to justify it because it was so good. Oh my god. Right. Right. Right, this bit here, okay, this is from Mackenzie's point of view about where she is, okay? Right. His passion had blown her away from their first impossible quick encounter on the bed tonight to second act in the spa. The danger of it was that he was seducing her mind in a way she never imagined. Oh, she'd never known from that very first night he was capable of a form of seduction she'd never experienced before. But she never realised how such a seduction could weaken one's own defences. Oh, Mackenzie, please. You see why I find her so frustrating as a character? Okay? And the fact is, she starts to refer as what Dante does to her, what they do as lovemaking. It's awful. That's what I find the most troubling thing about this, about a woman who justifies her false seduction, as a Mills and Boone would put it, and enjoys it. It's just wrong. It's like most terrible form of emotional manipulation. Just saying that out loud. This guy found you in, actually, I didn't realise, sorry, I said it wrong. It was her bed, okay? Dante arrived there early. He checked in early. It was her bed, okay? And this is so screwed up in the premise. Okay. Right. Right. The night was too precious, their love-making so passionate, so exquisite and explosive, never fade into a rocker world and deliver fully sated into the arms of sleep. Okay? And there was back to the endless rounds of meetings and dinners with architects, financiers and lawyers, and there was no time to think of anything but matters at hand until it occurred to her. The twinge and cramps that had started so promisingly fade away to nothing. She was 4 days late. Yep. Oh yeah, Mackenzie is pregnant. Okay, so, and chapter 11, she takes the pregnancy test straight away, okay? And forced bed, none of I'm in an arm, okay? She gets to the meat of it straight away. Mackenzie stared down at the bold blue line and knew her life had changed forever. She was no longer just lit. She was pregnant. Right. It wasn't bad enough she was pregnant. She was pregnant with Dante Crusoe's child. And somehow she would have to find a way to tell him. Right. And right. Now there would be no waiting for the right moment, no giving way to the worry that she might spoil something precious. Because everything was ruined. She was pregnant to Dante Caruso. You see, she said his name twice. I mean, could it possibly get any worse? She stared at her reflection in the mirror, looking for changes, seeking any telltale signs that she should have noticed, so it could have alerted her to the possibility that she was pregnant. Okay? But her nose looked as asymmetrical as it had ever, and her eyes blinked back as hers green as ever. I made a little jaded, but she was bound to be tired, sure, with the hectic pace Dante kept her up day and night. Oh, God, stay classy, Dante. You want to let your mistress sleep in the boardroom and then in the bedroom. So, yeah, stay classy. Oh, but a bit of shopping on the side, you know. But her nose looks as asymmetrical as it ever had. I'm sorry, becoming pregnant doesn't change your facial features that much. Okay? Actually, your body does change in absolutely marvellous ways, by the way. But it does. If you've got a crooked nose, it's not gonna fix itself. It's a pregnancy, not plastic surgery. Sorry. Right. And then he talks to Kay about the fact is that Mackenzie herself is an IVF baby, okay? And she's stressing to Kay about what kind of mother she'll be, okay? What kind of mother would she be? Her own parents have struggled for years to have a child, finally resort to technology in the bid to achieve their dream. She had known she was wanted and desperately so. For her entire life, she had been loved, was loved. And yet, she was pregnant for misadventure, for an act of carelessness, as if she wanted to be honest. So, did that make you love her child any less? Please, God, no. Okay? Right. Okay. So, Mackenzie's found out that she's pregnant, okay? And her face isn't going to fix itself magically. And so, she goes out there, okay? Find out she was pregnant and wants answers. Now, I'm going to find out about Ashton House. Okay? Right. But she wants to call the deal off, okay? Right. You go. And he's like, well, we've got a meeting coming up. He's like, no need to discuss this, okay? I've been your mistress. I've slept in your bed. I've kept up my end of the deal. And I'm not complaining. So I'm not sure I can do it anymore. So you calling the deal off? No, I need to know where I stand. You promised me you'd think about your decision to destroy Ashton House. I've kept up the end of the bargain. Have you? Oh, well, I thought about it, yes. And it still stands. I'm still tearing it down. So what Mackenzie has put herself through has been all for naught, because no matter what, she has gone. This has happened to her, okay, from day one in that hotel suite at Ashton House. What she has gone through. She has lost her job, become a mistress, and then find out it's all for nothing, okay? Right. And Dante is very, very indifferent. He is very, very different. So indifferent, okay? And they row, they have a go, okay? And right, and he's like, fine, fine, you're done, okay, it's over. And it's like, well, so be it. I want you packed and gone when I get back. Right. So come to this, she'd outlived her usefulness, so outlived her use by date. Now time to discard her. Even though she'd always known it could end this way, had for the vacancy realised that she'd been kidding herself and that he'd been using her, determined never to change his mind. She never expected the gut-wrenching agony that accompanied her worst fears come true. Where had the tender Dante gone? He never existed. The man who kissed ice cream from her lips and kindled the faint hope of something worthwhile in her heart. Now, where there was once been hope, there was only grief, because she'd not only lost the hotel, her baby had lost its father forever. And she's, right, and this is her reaction. I thought you'd changed, she said. I thought you learned something with the Queen contract. Didn't have to destroy things when there's worth in building instead. Ashton House is different. You said that before. Why is it different? It just is. And then you get to the meat of Dante's issue. Okay? The reason why he's the way it is. Because he mentions Jonas and Sarah Douglas, who are the owners, the actual owners, okay? The original owners of Ashton House. Okay? Right. And this for here, okay? Now, we never meet these people. Ever. Right? Right. And this is from Mackenzie. And what do you think it's going to do to the former owners, Jonas and Sarah Douglas, when they learn what you have planned for Ashton House? They were devastated and made just to lose control of the property. What do you think it would do to them to see their pride and joy lie in ruins? He turned towards her, his eyes like black holes, his fixed desolate. Destroyed them, I hope. Shock transfixed her, his voice so bleak, his expression so nightmarish, and his words like a curse. Which was the real Dante, she wondered. The passionate lover with a strict so tender brought tears to her eyes, or this tormented creature, little more than animal in pain. There is no real Dante, okay? No, you met the real Dante, okay, that night in your hotel room, right? What happened to you, she asked, putting voice to the question in mind to turn such a monster. The way his lips curled into what she took to be a smile mistook her. You become a monster? How else do you describe what you have planned, especially when the Douglases already have such a tragic life? Tragic? Jonas gambled his fortune away. What's tragic about that? And who can blame him? They lost both their sons. What parent would survive that intact? And now they're seeing their property fortune washed away bit by bit. They're going to be left with practically nothing. And why? What have they ever done to you? He laughed then, as if it called out, as she wished at the sound discordant like nails scraping on a blackboard. It's more than they ever left me. Right, so, the meat of it. Dante has a connection, okay, to Sarah and Jonas Douglas, okay? That's their connection, alright? So that's why he's doing this, okay? He has a dark and troubled past I'm going to get to later, alright? But that's why he's doing this, right? That's why he's turned such a heartless bastard, alright? But this bit here, okay? Right. Dante's like, fine, whatever, you go, you stay, I don't care, I've got a meeting, okay? He walks out. Now, she's just seen this, her, not even boyfriend, okay? This guy, right? Just essentially turn into an absolute monster in front of her eyes, okay? Right? Someone cold, someone calculating, someone callous. And then, right, his anguish was so real and raw, and in spite of every last hurtful thing he'd said to her today, her heart just wouldn't let him walk out of here. She cared too much to see him go this way. And then like a thunderbolt, it hit her. She'd fallen in love with Dante Caruso. Oh, God's sake, Mackenzie. God's sake. What is wrong with you? Right. But then Dante, literally, okay, he does his business, starts walking, just tries to clear his head. He's okay, right. And this bit here, okay, because he's feeling rock bottom, and this bit here. Why has she had to do that when everything had been going so well? It wasn't. Why she had to ask? He was going to miss her imp in his daily business dealings. He was going to miss her after hours even more. Oh yes. Right. Lately she'd been less like a mistress and more like an extension of himself, a part of him. He got used to having her around. What had prompted her to do it? Stupid. Oh, you are blaming her. You are blaming your victim, Dante. Okay? You're blaming your victim. And she is your victim. Right. Even though I do worry, okay, about Mackenzie's, going on through her head, okay? Right. Right. Mackenzie tightened the screws, and I found the one thing that could turn his anger incendiary. So why did he feel so bad? Why did it taste different? Inside him, his gut felt as solid as a stone, like a cannonball set loose, weighing him down. Rain streaked down his face, rain trails past his collar, down his neck, and beyond, until he could feel the wet patches soaking into his shirt. His coat no protection against the remorseless weather. Right. He remembered her face then, her upturned face as she tried to stop him. He thought she was going to say something, but her parted lips had halted halfway to a word, and she looked at him with something akin to terror in her eyes. It frightened the hell out of him. And then he goes back to the suite, okay, saying that Mackenzie deserved better. Yes, better than you, Dante. Right. And then, okay, like, she goes back to the hotel suite. She's been crying. And then he sees something. He sees the pregnancy test. Right. End of the chapter. Take a break. Okay, that's it. 2 more bloody chapters and I'm done. Okay, here we go. So, Dante's just found out that Mackenzie is pregnant. Okay, here we go. Chapter 12. Right, so Mackenzie's packing because she's leaving him. Finally, okay, because he's not gonna save Ashton House. Ashton House is doomed. I don't care anymore. Okay, chapter 12. Show that in your hand. Why, it's none of your business. You already terminated my services. Again. Shakily, she held the test out towards him, and he took it. The cannonball in his gut grew larger until there was no room for even the air in his lungs. Satisfied? Right. You're pregnant. Her face crumpled on the ground and she collapsed down on the side of the bath one more time, this time with her head in her hands. Yes. The question who had been grating on his nerves ever since the possibility she was pregnant had entered his mind, just had to be asked. So whose baby is it? Oh, whose baby is it? Yeah. Right. Whose baby do you think it is? Well, you tell me. You're the one I found lying in wait for me in my bed. How I know how many other beds you've taken to your quest to get whatever you want. He still thinks that. He's so stupid. She then looked at him. I wasn't lying in wait for you that night, Dante. I was sleeping over in an empty bed because I worked late and had early start the next morning. Nothing more. He shook his head, discounting her claims. Of course he doesn't believe her. Of course not. Of course not. The perpetrator doesn't believe the victim. No, and she is the victim. If that was true, then none of this would ever have happened. She would have run from his bed, kicking and screaming. Oh, okay, right. So you don't believe? Yeah, okay. What about your friend Richard? Oh my God, Richard, what a dick. She laughed. It could have been a sub. She wasn't sure. Ancient history, but more likely than me. I've known you, what, 3 weeks? Definitely doesn't tell me how long you've been pregnant. How do you know it's not months? I think if she was a couple of months and she's very slender, and she probably would have been showing by that point, but she's not. She's skinny and beautiful. It's the way you like her, Dante, even with her crooked little nose and her green eyes. Oh. Right. Right, so he's going in and basically blaming her for being pregnant. Okay, fine, here we go. Right, of course. You told me you were on the pill. I am, but I missed 1 or 2. How the hell did that happen? She screwed up her face, remembering. Denied I stayed at the hotel. I slept over some nights in the hotel when I was working late. By taking my overnight bag out of my car and left my pills at home. I missed 1. I didn't think it was matter. But then we quickly left for Auckland now, and I forgot about it the day after we arrived. Don't give me that. You were lying in wait for me the whole time so you could pretend you weren't. Not with the reception you gave me. The reception you gave me. I hate this, man. And yet you still forgot to take 2 pills in a row. How careless was that? Alright. Oh, I like the fact that she actually retorts this. Oh, about as careless, I guess, as you forget to use protection when you jam me up against and tip me up against that wall in there. The same way you neglected to use a condom when you made love to me in the liquid feed for 3 and 33. People forget things, don't they? Even you, apparently. Right. And he's pissed again she didn't tell him. Right, she didn't tell him. And then suddenly, okay, oh, what we're going to do about the baby? What we're going to do about the baby? Okay, right. Oh, okay, right, right. And because she's still leaving him, okay, right, right. How can you work? I'm not sick, Dante. Just pregnant and only just. And 30 days. Who knows what might happen? You will not have an abortion. Oh, sorry, it's her body, her choice. I mean, that nature might take its course and decide on that for itself. And what will you do after the child is born? How will you cope with another job? I don't know, but I will. And if the worst comes to worst, it's always the adoption route. No child of mine would be adopted out. The force of his reply took her by surprise. She hadn't meant it. She'd been doing no more than thinking out loud. Couldn't he see that? That's a weird kind of thing to think out loud, by the way. You know, hey, just saying. Okay, that's kind of like a trigger thing for him. It obviously, okay, just a weird thing to say. Right, but then it gets better because at this time, Dante and Mackenzie's both been meeting with Quinn for dinner. Okay, and this next page. Okay, because Mackenzie's gonna leave him. All right, all right, and then Quinn calls. All right, all right. Quinn, sorry to keep you waiting. We've a bit of a crisis here this morning, but it's all sorted out now. Mackenzie showed him daggers from across the room as she collected the last of her party collection and dropped them in a case. No, the doctor will be here shortly, but it's no that's helped me out this morning. Did she tell you our good news? Mackenzie stopped dead and looked up at him in horror, suddenly shaking her head desperately. He smiled back at her as Quinn urged him to spill the news. It's very exciting news, actually. Mackenzie just agreed to become my wife. So on page 154, they're talking about the baby and all that, and page 155, Mackenzie is getting married. Right. Right. And well, she has to go with him, so respect to that guy. She doesn't passively take that crap. Okay? Right. This bit here, okay? Right. And Mackenzie's dealing with this, and Dante's so smug, okay, his big decision. Oh, look at me, I'm getting married, okay? Yeah, fine. Right. It's a perfect solution, he said. The baby will have a mother and a father. You won't have to go out to work. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Do you want her barefoot in the kitchen, Dante? You know, oh, is that your thing? Oh, no, sorry, no, barefoot in the bedroom, okay? Because, you know, she's like a sex slave or something. That's that's awful. That's awful, okay? You know, all her experience and all her expertise and all her interest. And suddenly it's kind of, well, no, you're pregnant, okay? So now you can't leave the house. You're under house arrest, my little slave. Oh, right, right. You haven't asked me, and if you did, I say no. I won't marry you, Dante. I won't marry you if you're the last man on earth. He straightened up. She almost wished he hadn't, and for the very same reason, she was glad he had. The muscles rippled under that broad, hard chest and drew her gaze and turned her thoughts at other times to other more pleasurable activities. So even in a moment of crisis, the shitty writing of this character from Trish Morey, okay, is the fact is that he's forcing me to marry him because I'm pregnant with his child, okay? And yet at the same time, okay, oh, but I still want him. Yeah, I still want him. Yeah, I still desire him. What the hell is up with this? Right. Right. And the fact is, okay, it's kind of like, well, Mackenzie's like, well, marriage should be about trust and respect and just loving each other. And Dante is, it won't be no marriage, he said, turning her hopes to dust. And took the fingers of one hand and tracing down her jaw along the cheek, along the line of her jaw, okay? And even then, okay, Mackenzie she wants to sleep with him all the time, okay? Right. But experience we've already had together tells us it can be better than tolerable, right? She knew what they, right, basically her body is just going crazy at this, and she knew what they were telling her, okay, her body, that it'd be worth marrying Dante for the sex alone, and she almost believed them, almost. But, okay, she won't agree to marry him unless he says Ashton House. It won't close, okay? Right. So, essentially, they've gone from, I'm not going to tell you about the baby, oh, yeah, I'm pregnant too, I won't marry you unless you save this hotel, okay? Right. The time I want a cast and gold guarantee here. If I marry you, then Ashton House stays a going concern and never gets pulled down by you or any of your other cronies. And if I don't agree, then the only way I refuse to marry you, I do my utmost to see how little is possible to do with your child. Don't to stop me. Legally, I can make you give me access. And why would it even want access? So why would it even want access? Unless you want to turn its mind toxic so it ends up half crazy like its dear old dad. Right. So she won't agree to marry him unless Ashton House is saved. I'm sick to death. I hear about Ashton bloody House. Okay? Right. About But Dante agrees. I will not tear down Ashton House. Okay, that's the thing. It's right. Well, I do it. It's a deal. But have and so so it's as simple as that. Okay, and then here's also Mackenzie's conditions. Right, right. So these are also Dante's conditions. I'm still getting confused by how much I hate these characters. We did a wedding my way. She opened her mouth to protest, and he had it one hand to stall her. Listen, first, we get married as soon as legally possible. As soon as it's going to be at least 4 weeks. I expect you want the marriage to take place at Ashton House. Nice. And then fine, I'll take Adrian, take care of all the details. Adrian, okay, yeah, Adrian comes back into play. Adrian, okay? Right. Adrian comes back. Adrian, who is the Stucky character of Pretty Woman, fine. Right. And then, obviously, now she's getting married. Mackenzie is becoming the bride, okay? Right. Okay. Right. Dante took her to expensive jewelry store downstairs, set a ring, and the manager was more than happy to serve them the best. Mackenzie had only wanted something small to spend a lot of time under the circumstances seemed wrong, but Dante disagreed and insisted that upon the best, and they finally settled upon bewitchingly simple. It doesn't its beauty. Mackenzie loved it. And then we get to her parents, who'd been mentioned, okay, because these parents who worked at Ashton House and they had IVF to have her. Their daughter's been with this guy for a month. They never met Dante before, yet they're fine with this news. They don't even say anything, okay? The Queens were delighted with the engagement news, insisted on taking them to celebrate, making sure the papers were on hand to photograph the happy couple. Yeah. Oh, and also, okay, they have an ultrasound and see the baby and the beating of the tiny baby's heart. And, okay. And Dante holds her hands and squeezes it, making the fingers everything's going to be okay. He's going to be a good dad. He's going to be a good person. He's not, okay? Right. And the fact is, okay, I don't know what's going through this woman's mind, okay, but it's like Dante's being nice to me. He's being a wonderful lover. He's going to be a wonderful father while she's trying on wedding dresses. I hate her. Right. He loves me, she told herself, trying on one more gown and looking at her reflection in the mirror as the dress adjusted the spread of the short train behind her. He had been so thoughtful and considerate lately, and yet had been the consummate lover in the bedroom which he had first put them together that first night. He must love me. Right. Okay, I know. Okay, whatever's going through Mackenzie's mind and what happened with her in chapter 1, okay, she's just, I don't know what she's confusing it. It's kind of, she's confusing love of lust, okay? The actions that Dante has done towards her, lied to her, manipulated her, made her his mistress, made her his absolute sex slave. Mackenzie's reaction, okay, to try to get him to seduce her. This couple don't need, okay, to get mad. They both need, well, Dante needs to be in prison, okay, and Mackenzie needs some therapy. And maybe in prison Dante will get some therapy. Right. Mackenzie did not have a shred of doubt that she was doing the right thing or that she was cheating her parents out of the real deal with this rush marriage. As far as she was concerned, this was the real deal, and she knew in her heart that they could make it work. There was nothing surer.